Okay. But many years ago, that this was the opportunity we were actually looking for, but we could not, but having a lot of barriers and challenges. But now, and this as a result of challenges, not having financial opportunities, we're not able to enter into education, though we have a dream. But now, through this policy being initiated, through our president, John Dramani Mahama, our hope is not lost. Meaning we have more opportunity to thrive. Meaning there is no limitations anymore. With this, I want to thank our president, John Mahama, for his efforts making us have the equal opportunity and equality. It's my wish that we all will be involved in this industry, that as the promise has been given, we will all have the support to live a successful life as students. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, people with physical impairment has faced problems for many years, being it physical, emotional, social, and financial, that has made their desire for education a barrier. The introduction of free tertiary education policy for persons with disabilities, including those with physical impairment, has broken that. Your Excellency, this initiative is a good and great move that gives every Ghanaian child hope that they also can be educated, that their dreams can come to reality one day, that they can achieve it, and their capabilities can be nurtured. No child is left out. Any type of disability, all of us have equal chance to learn and transform our world. As a student, I know education is the key to a successful life and open doors for greatness. I wish to applaud the President and the Ministry of Education and the Student Loan Trust Fund for this transformative policy. It will help us to be educated and gives freedom to achieve our goals. I will urge my fellow students with disabilities to let us seize this opportunity. Let us aim higher, work harder, and ensure that disability is not inability. Together, we can redefine inclusion and excellence in Ghana's education system.
This is the podium. This is the mic. Go ahead.
Mr. President Mahama, as students with disability, we thank you for this thoughtful initiative. As people who have been overlooked, excluded, and often left behind, it feels like a dream that we are finally being given a priority. This policy will eliminate the financial burden we've faced as students with disability. Due to the lack of funds, I had to stay at home for 2 years before going to the university. I wish this initiative was in place, so I didn't have to waste 2 years. But I'm glad that now it is here that I get to enjoy. More importantly, that others like me will not suffer like I did. Fellow students with disability, I want to encourage and challenge us all to take advantage of this policy to encourage His Excellency, the President of Ghana, to create more opportunities for us. Thank you.
His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, I'm honored to stand before you today to celebrate the launch of the free tertiary education for persons with disability initiative. This initiative is a testament to the government's commitment to inclusivity and equality. By providing free tertiary education, you are not only opening doors to knowledge, but also empowering us to contribute meaningfully to society. We pledge to work hard, support one another, and make the most of this opportunity. We believe that education is the key to unlocking our potentials, and we are grateful for your vision and leadership. As a first-year student with disability in a public tertiary institution, I have already benefited from full fee reimbursement from the Student Loan Trust Fund under the Free Tertiary Education for Persons with Disability Initiative. Thank you, Your Excellency, for this incredible initiative. We are excited to be part of this journey and look forward to making a positive impact in our community. Thank you once again.
My spoken word is titled, We Rise. They said the journey was long, too far for our steps to reach. They said dreams for persons with disabilities, too high to keep. They said dreams for persons with disabilities, too high to keep. We were taught to count our limits and measure tomorrow by what we lacked. They said maybe someday, but today, someday has arrived with minds and hearts that believed we can. A policy is born, not of sympathy, but of sight, a kind that sees ability beyond disability. Today, a hand lays down a key to access to education, to dreams, to destiny. This is a tuition paid in respect to every student who studied in the dark, to every mother who prayed in silence, to every father who gave out your sleep for hope. Today, Ghana answers your prayers. Let this policy be more than a paper. Let it be a pulse in the nation's chest. A beat that says, no dream is too heavy for the wheelchair, no vision is too faint for the sightless eye, and no voice is too soft to push a country forward. Oh yes, we rise together, beyond limits, beyond barriers, and beyond labels. And when history writes this moment, let it say, Ghana chose inclusion. Thank you.
We can do it better. We can do it better. This is the ability I was talking about. This is the ability I was talking about.
With a heart of gratitude, in unison we say, and God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our students with disability, God really bless you. Thank you for this amazing speech.
Let's give another round of applause to them.
Yes.
The students from the Accra Training College also get ready to perform Please come. Whilst they are coming, we just want to acknowledge the presence of some dignitaries in our midst. Please come in. The cultural troupe play.
Amazing. Thank you, Mr. President. This is history.
Whilst they are performing, I just want to also acknowledge the presence of all the principals of colleges and educations in our midst. We also have Professor Emmanuel Jimabuidi, co-founder of Afrobarometer, is also here today. This afternoon we also have Professor Augustina Nami, lecturer at University of Ghana as well. We also want to acknowledge Mr. Daniel Boke, the President of National Union of Ghana Students. Whilst we enjoy the performance, we also want to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Edwin Kweku Ando, Executive Secretary, National Council on Persons with Disabilities. We also have Pastor Alexander Nyame, National Coordinator, Ministry of Persons with Disability, the Church of Pentecost, is also in our midst today. Wow! We also have Mr. Babina Bonfa, Executive Director, Rights of Youth and Disability International. We also want to acknowledge the presence of the Deputy CEO of National Youth Authority, Mr. Jacob Adongo, in charge of finance and administration.
We also have Alexander Tete in our midst. We also have Terida also in our midst. Thank you very much. And all student bodies in this auditorium, we acknowledge all of you. God richly bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow, let's give it up, let's give it up, let's give it up one more time. Yes, yes, beautiful culture we have. Thank you. Yes, wow. Thank you so much. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up to them. Let's give them a huge round of applause. That was a powerful performance. I think I can do better. We've also got our part. Yes. I thought you would join me. I am tired. I am very tired. It's an inclusive program, yes. So we have to do our part. Yes. I only saw one gentleman in the midst of all the women. Hey, gender. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on, please. We would also humbly welcome to the podium the Honorable Minister for Education, Haruna. Yes, mention the name for me. Let's give it to him.
Your Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, colleague ministers, if there are any, Deputy Minister Clement Apak, Umazi leading the persons with disability and co-chair of the committee, chairperson of the Student Loan Trust, Chief Director of the Ministry of Education and the team from the Ministry of Education, Director General GTEC, Director General NACA, Director General NASIA, Administrator of the GET Fund, and the Director General of the Ghana Service, Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My honor and pride this afternoon to be introducing our keynote and special guest of honor for the launch of the Persons with Disability No Fee Stress. Mr. President, this afternoon, my English is further enriched when one of the young girls here, in her own words, said, when Ghana chose you as president, they chose inclusion. Apt and appropriate for this day. And Mr. President, as you listen to them, they echoed what has been your long passion, that inclusivity and equality is equal to equity. And that today President John Dramani Mahama is not only fulfilling a major campaign promise, but demonstrating to Ghanaians once again that he is the compassionate president of the Republic of Ghana and committed to touching the lives of vulnerable persons and to ensure their inclusivity and to give meaning to the phrase that disability is not inability. The President, want to thank you. The President, I am compelled to thank Deputy Minister Clement Apak and our brilliant Speaker Joseph Achu-Humaji. They were the co-chair of the committee which mapped out the blueprint of the roadmap that, Mr. President, you are here to launch today. So the rural Fumbisi MP of Clement Apak, we remain grateful, and to Hamadi for the leadership that you have provided. Mr. President, the GET Fund administrator and the team at GET Fund have been particularly supportive. And to the persons with disability, I'm happy to announce, before you hear the presidential packages, that this no fee stress will cost the state and the GET Fund some 31 million. President Mahama have asked me to assure you that so long as he's president, from now until 2028, the GET Fund will commit 50 million every other year to support the no disability fees and other associated interventions. Then, Mr. President, The Director General of GES is here. You have emphasized that we should shift focus to basic education and to improve learning outcomes at the basic level. Mr. President, the story is told of a young girl whose teacher somewhere in the Ashanti region went in and was waxing English, teaching at that early stages of development. Then the child told the teacher that so, Mr. President, in line with that and with your authority, I'm directing the Director General of the Ghana Education Service and the GES that from today, teacher use of mother tongue instruction is now compulsory in all Ghanaian schools. The GES is to ensure strict enforcement of this. That child, that Ghanaian child, was not born into an English family, but a proud Asante Akan family, and deserves to learn. This is part of President Mohammed's research agenda. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today we are discussing higher education, and for President Mahama, he wants to expand access to quality, relevant education. Let me acknowledge Kofi Asare, one of those who draw our attention every time to some of the crookedness of the policies we may be pursuing. I'm also happy to announce that President Mahama a few weeks ago was in China. And in China, the Chinese government was benevolent and generous enough to give Ghana some 200 million of the Chinese RMB. And then when they looked at Mr. President's face and to honor his birthday, they added another 200 million, which I'm told is the equivalent of about some 27 to 30 million US dollars. The President is aware of my briefing that in some parts of Ghana, access to quality secondary education is still a challenge, and access to higher education is still a challenge. The President recognizes the role and the continuous role of the church in partnering the state in the provision of higher education. Accordingly, President Mahama is dedicating the 200 million for the start and establishment of a Catholic Science University in Damango in the Savannah region. So that at least that will be done. An additional new university, Mr. President, will be established. 3 technical universities, one in Jasikan, one in Techima. The Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission was in the Ahafo region. Mr. President, we may have to delay the takeoff of the School of Engineering at Bunsu in the Eastern region for good reason, so that as a result of that exchange, when we complete the physical infrastructure, we will get the School of Engineering and Agric Sciences functional. But Mr. President, it is the thinking of government, and you requested me to put a committee chaired by Dr. Christine Amakunwama to work to expand access to higher education and to give you a blueprint on doing this. In line with that, Mr. President, Achenswa in the Ahafo region and Kenyasi in the Ahafo region will enjoy new satellite campuses as part of the Bunsu University, with the intention of making them have their own universities in the foreseeable future. Mr. President, so today is not for long speeches. I've been asked to come and introduce the fine gentleman of a president of Ghana, who keeps his word and who honors his word. in the run-up to the December elections, you pledged to the Ghanaian people that you would be a compassionate president. You are giving meaning just to that today with the launch of this low-fee stress. I now have the singular honor to introduce to you the President of the Republic. But in the words of one of the persons with disability, today marks a new chapter of opportunity, with President Mahama giving meaning to inclusivity and respecting the rights of persons with disability and giving them an opportunity to taste free tertiary education. On that note, rise as we welcome the compassionate, humble President John Dramani Mahama to address us.
Thank you very much. Let's give it up for the band. And then for my little children who did the cultural performance, I think they did a great job. Thank you very much. Enough protocol has been established. Distinguished personalities here have been introduced. And I just want to proceed on that established protocol. Let me thank Haruna and his team in the education sector, and to commend you and congratulate you for the hard work that you've done to realize most of the promises we put in the 2024 manifesto. We have a manifesto dashboard where we are tracking the promises we made, and I must say the education sector is very ahead in terms of implementation. So Haruna, you, APAC, and your team, Get Fund, GTEC, STELF, all of you, I just want to say Aiko. When I was inaugurated, just to elaborate on the announcement Haruna made, when I was inaugurated as president, the Chinese president sent an envoy to represent him. And that envoy, as is the practice of China, announced a 200 million yuan grant to celebrate our inauguration. As he said, it's equivalent to almost $30 million. And so we devoted that money for establishment of the Aflao market. I had promised during the campaign that to complement trade between Ghana and Togo, we're also going to establish a market on our end. Everybody knows Togo Ashigame. And so we want Ghana Ashigame. And so and so we dedicated that 200 million yuan for the Aflao market. And then recently I was invited by President Xi Jinping again on an official visit to China on the sidelines of 30 years of Beijing Declaration on Women. And as part of that visit, during the bilateral that I had with him, he announced another 200 million yuan. It meant another $30 million as a grant to commemorate my visit to China. And so just yesterday, we had a meeting with the Catholic Secretariat. They've been planning a science university in the northern part of the country. And so they decided that they'll site the university in the Savannah region in Damongo. And I pledged that the $30 million that I was giving, we will use it as the seed money to begin the campus of that university. That university will be devoted to science and technology, robotics, artificial intelligence, digital science, advanced medicine training. And so it's going to be a specialized university that will produce some of the most advanced, scientists and technologists that we need for the 21st century. And so I want to thank Haruna and his team very much, and to thank the Catholic Church for the collaboration that we're going to have in establishing this university. But of course, as has been said, it was one of our promises to establish public universities or their campuses in the 6 new regions. And so the Ministry of Education and the National Council on Tertiary Education are all working on it so that we can begin that process. It would help all our students who want tertiary education to be able to get a university or a higher educational institution that is not too far away from them. So we want to bring tertiary education to the doorstep of Ghanaian youth. Today, we gather to mark a new and defining moment in Ghana's journey towards inclusion and equality. The launch of the Free Tertiary Education for Persons with Disabilities initiative, which is under the theme Disability, Not Inability, Advancing Inclusive Access to Higher Education under the Reset Agenda. This initiative is not merely a policy launch. It is an activation of our national conscience and our sense of equity and justice. It is a reminder that the soul of any nation is measured by how it treats its most vulnerable citizens. And as President Mandela said, a nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. According to the 2021 Population and Housing Census, there are more than 2 million Ghanaians living with disability. But behind this statistic, behind this figure, are real human stories. Stories of perseverance, of talent waiting to be nurtured, and of dreams that deserve to be fulfilled. Too many still face barriers of poverty, of stigma, of lack of access to education and livelihood opportunity. These are not just individual challenges, they represent a national loss. When we exclude, we waste talent. But when we include and empower, we multiply national progress. Our collective task, therefore, is to ensure that no Ghanaian is denied the chance to learn, to work, and to serve because of disability. Ghana has not been idle in this effort. In 2006, under the administration of President Kufuor, Parliament passed Act 715, the Persons with Disability Act. In 2012, under my leadership, Ghana ratified the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, aligning the country's laws with global standards of equality and dignity. In 2015, we introduced the Inclusive Education Policy, which opened mainstream schools to learners with disabilities and began the process of transforming our educational culture. Today, we're advancing that vision one bold step further. The Free Tertiary for Persons with Disability initiative fulfills a pledge I made to the people of Ghana to make higher education accessible to all, regardless of fiscal condition or circumstances. Under this program, persons with disability who gain admission into accredited public tertiary institutions will have their fees fully covered by the state. The implementation of this initiative will be led by the revamped Student Loan Trust Fund, which is now modernized and digitized to ensure transparency, efficiency, and sustainability. Let me note that the National Service Authority had administered a limited scholarship for persons with disability in the past. But with this launch today, we're integrating the scholarship administered by the National Scholarships Authority in the past with a new Universal Disability Scholarship under the Student Loan Fund Trust. And let me emphasize, this initiative is not an act of charity. It is an act of justice and equality. It is a strategic investment in Ghana's most valuable resource, that is, its people. Each student supported under this policy becomes an asset to our nation. A potential engineer, a teacher, an entrepreneur, a farmer or innovator, their success will strengthen Ghana's economy and enrich our collective humanity. To make inclusion a lived reality, my government will roll out a comprehensive set of complementary actions. And the first is legislative reform. And if you notice, when your president spoke, he spoke about the Disability Amendment Act. We'll introduce a Persons with Disability Amendment Act and a legislative instrument, an ally, to modernize Ghana's disability rights regime and ensure effective enforcement. So this new Amendment Act would amend the Persons with Disability Act that was passed in 2006 in order to bring it up to date with current realities. The second is health, attention, and early assessment. We will establish in each district a disability health and resource center. To provide specialized health assessments and build a credible national health database for persons with disability for informed action. The third is rehabilitation and empowerment. We'll construct and upgrade rehabilitation centers in all regions to support fiscal recovery and vocational training for persons with disability. And the fourth is on local governance integration. Every district assembly, metropolitan municipal and district assembly will establish a disability desk. These disability desks will integrate disability issues into the district assembly's development planning. We would enforce a minimum 5% employment quota for persons with disability. 5% employment quota for persons with disability, and this will be across public and private sectors. For private sector organizations that meet the quota, they will be given tax incentives. And every public sector, through their ministers, will have to report annually that they have met the 5% quota. The next is gender empowerment. We will launch dedicated programs for women with disability, providing them with entrepreneurship grants and leadership training. The seventh is accessibility and infrastructure. We will enforce the Ghana accessibility standards for all public buildings and facilities. "2026 will be 10 years since the enforcement of accessibility to public buildings was meant to be enforced. Therefore, in the Amendment Act to Act 715, we will increase the term of imprisonment for persons who refuse to comply. And will also increase the fines that they have to pay. Act 715 says the penalty for not complying is 3 months in prison or 600 cedis. 600 cedis is too small. So in the new act, we are going to increase the penalty, and maybe we increase the imprisonment from 3 months to 6 months. And there's more good news. Next year, in the District Assembly's Common Fund formula, we intend to increase the allocation to persons with disability from 3% to 5%. The disability desks in every district assembly will, in consultation with the local branch of the Ghana Federation of the Disabled, will prepare a budget each year for how they intend to spend the 5% that has been allocated to them. And then another good news. We intend to introduce a system for distributing rechargeable motorized wheelchairs to distribute rechargeable motorized wheelchairs for persons with disability. And so, after that good news, I've directed all ministers of state to review their obligations under the Disability Act and present action plans for full compliance within the shortest possible time. Every year, as part of the obligation of ministers, they will have to provide a report on how they've complied with the Disability Act. And so I call on the private sector, civil society, our development partners, universities, and media to join hands in this noble mission. Let us transform our national attitudes from commiseration to partnership, from exclusion to empowerment, and from sympathy to solidarity. Together, we must build a culture that is inclusive and celebrates differences and values the contribution of every single one of our citizens. This initiative envisions a Ghana where a visually impaired student becomes a software engineer. It envisages a Ghana where a young woman in a wheelchair earns her law degree and comes out to defend the voiceless. It envisions a Ghana where a child with hearing impairment grows up to be a teacher, to heal, or even lead his nation. This is the inclusive Ghana we dream of. A nation where opportunity, not disability, defines our destiny. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Free Tertiary Education for Persons with Disability initiative is a landmark in Ghana's story of social justice. It affirms that inclusion is not a favor, it is a right, and that equality is not charity, it is the foundation of our national progress. Let this prove that Ghana chooses justice over indifference, that Ghana chooses inclusion over exclusion. And so with the pride in our national compassion and faith in our collective future, I hereby have the privilege to declare the Free Tertiary for Persons with Disability initiative officially launched. Ladies and gentlemen, may this program light the path for many generations to come. May it remind us that every Ghanaian, regardless of their ability, deserves to dream and to rise as far as they can. May God bless our persons living with disability, our students, and our beloved home Ghana. I thank you for your attention. Thank you. And one last announcement before I sit down. We've decided to include the students of the Ghana Law School to be allowed them to access the Student Loan Fund Plus. So students at the Ghana Law School, you are included in the Student Loan Fund Plus. Thank you.
Let's be upstanding as the president.
If you can, we'll humbly ask that you rise up to your feet.
Come on. Definitely. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is the hope for this generation. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this amazing thing. I'm sure persons with disabilities all over Ghana are happy.
Yes, we are.
Common fund being taken to 5% and acknowledgements everything that is going around with this president of ours. I think he came at the right time. A round of applause for him.
Let's give it up one more time to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. You know, I always used to dream of a day where able people will envy persons with disability. But that dream has arrived. It's no more a dream, it's a reality.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much. Can you acknowledge some people in our midst, and then we will call for the vote of thanks.
Yes, we have Professor Abdullahi Jinapo, Executive Director of Ghana Technical Education Commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We want to take the vote of thanks, and we will call on Mr. Jacob Adongo Atule, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the National Youth Authority. But once he's coming, we also want to acknowledge the presence of the CEO of the National Youth Authority, Mr. Osman.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Honorable Minister of Education and the Deputy, members of Parliament here, CEO of the Students' Loans Trust Fund, my own boss, Lawyer Usman Eraga, CEO National Youth Authority, all protocols observed. On behalf of the Student Loan Trust Fund, and indeed on behalf of the countless young persons with disabilities across the country, I stand here deeply honored to deliver this vote of thanks at this historic occasion. Your Excellency, today's event is not just a policy launch, it is a powerful statement of inclusion, equity, and hope. Through the introduction of the free tertiary education for persons with disabilities, your government has demonstrated once again that no one Ghanaian should be left behind because of physical, economic, sensory, or intellectual barriers. We wish to express our gratitude to you, Mr. President, for keeping your promises on education, for making tertiary education less stressful and more accessible, for introducing free tuition for first-year students in tertiary institutions, and for your remarkable efforts in strengthening and improving the quality of the free SHS program, especially for those of us who have for too long been on the margins of opportunities. You have turned words into action and dreams into doors of opportunities. and possibilities. To the Honorable Minister of Education and your team, we say, Ayiko, for your tireless work in shaping policies that reflect compassion and foresight. Anytime we have met in private life, you would tell me, what do we do to improve the lot of persons with disabilities? You are dreaming your vision, you are achieving your dreams and making sure persons with disabilities are comfortable. To the Student Loan Trust Fund, your collaboration in ensuring the smooth implementation of this initiative is greatly appreciated. To our development partners, civil society organizations, and the various disability associations who continue to advocate and partner government in advancing inclusive education, we salute you. And to my fellow persons with disabilities, this is our moment. Let us embrace this opportunity, strive for excellence, and prove that with access and support, we can contribute meaningfully to the development of our beloved nation. Once again, thank you, Your Excellency, for your leadership, empathy, and commitment to social justice. May this initiative stand as a lasting legacy of your belief in an inclusive Ghana, a Ghana where ability, not disability, defines destiny. And I also want to thank you all for listening to me and thank myself for being able to thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, His Excellency, the President. We've taken some photographs.
Yes. Michael, don't you think this program is one of the best so far that has been organized in this country?
I mean, to see disability inclusion in the limelight, and not just but the president of the land himself is here with us.
Yes, exactly.
This is a remarkable.
It's amazing, and it was well organized.
Of course.
And people with disability were so much cool this time around. Wow, that is amazing. Give us the working tools, and we will give you the working force. As Doctor said, we can see you, we can hear you.
Please, we want to acknowledge the Visionary Rhythms Band. They gave us a wonderful performance. Those of you from Accra that were invited, please remain in the auditorium. And those of you also that your names were written as invited members of the community of persons with disability, please also remain in the auditorium.